This is how you crochet the feather stitch part 1. Our chains start at 6 plus 3. 3 is for the turning chain, and we're going to put our first half double crochet into the third chain from the hook. Then we're going to chain 1, skip 1 chain, and then add another half double crochet into the next one. And we're going to repeat that all the way until the end of this row, and we'll end with 1 half double crochet into the very last stitch. One important thing to note about this stitch is you're going to have a half double crochet as the first and last stitch of every single row. Before we start the second row, I want you to look at your work and identify all the chain 1 spaces and the chains that you skipped on the bottom. We're going to be using those to pull up our loops. So the very first stitch after we chain 1 for our turning chain, the very first stitch is going to be a half double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1 again. Then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the chain 1 space, pull up a loop. Yarn over again, insert our hook into the chain that we skipped underneath, and pull up another loop. This stitch looks better if you pull it tight. And then we're going to yarn over again and insert our hook into the next chain space and pull up another loop. In total, we're going to have 7 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over, pull it through all the loops on the hook, and chain 1 to finish our stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way until the end. And one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain space, pull up a loop. Yarn over again, insert your hook into the skipped chain on the very bottom. Pull up a loop. Yarn over again and insert your hook into the next chain space. Pull up a loop and then pull through all 7 and chain 1. So when you get to the end of the row, it's important that you chain 1 and then you just add a half double crochet into the top of the half double crochet from the previous row. Part 2 will be linked in the comments, and if you like these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. I post them every single day. This is how you crochet the feather stitch part 2. We just finished rows 1 and 2, and now we're going to start on row 3 and every row after. Our turning chain is 1, and then we're going to put our first half double crochet into the very first stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 before we start the feather stitches. Now for this stitch, we're going to be working into the chain spaces. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the space underneath, pull up another loop, yarn over again, and insert your hook into the next chain 1 space. Then when you have 7 loops on your hook, you just yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook and chain 1 to close the stitch. And then when you get to the end of your row, you're going to make sure you chain 1 to close the stitch and insert a half double crochet into the very last stitch. If you have any questions or would like to request a stitch, just leave it below in the comments. And if you like these kind of close-up tutorials, be sure to like and follow.